When you think of Japan, you probably picture a country that's what, like a decade ahead of the rest of the world. But what if I told you its biggest secrets, the very thing that makes it so innovative, aren't hidden in the future at all? What if they're buried in a past that's been deliberately sealed away? Let's go and see if we can uncover what's really going on beneath that polished surface.
And look, this isn't just some poetic phrase. It's the honest-to-God truth about modern Japan. Every single skyscraper, every bullet train, every piece of mind-blowing tech is connected to a history that is, well, both cherished and in some cases completely locked away. To get Japan today, you have to look back.
Which of course brings us to the biggest question of all. How did an island nation with basically zero natural resources rise from the absolute ashes of war to become this global powerhouse? What's the hidden engine driving all of that incredible success? I can tell you one thing. The answer isn't in any textbook.
So, to find our answer, we've got to peel back the layers. We're going to look right past those spotless cityscapes and that famous politeness, and we're going to venture into the shadows, into the places where no one is allowed to go, where the logic of our modern world just completely falls apart.
Just look at this contrast. It's pretty stark, right? On one side, you have the Japan everybody thinks they know. Dazzling, super efficient, basically the future. But then, there's this other, quieter, way more mysterious Japan. It's a place of ancient spirits, of a strange kind of loneliness, and secrets that are kept under lock and key. It's in this second Japan where we're going to find our clues.
Our first clue takes us right to the base of the iconic Mount Fuji, to a place they call Aokigahara. Now, on the surface, it's a huge, dark forest, but it's so much more than that. The people who live there believe it's a place with a life, a will, all of its own. Okay, just try to imagine this. You step into a sea of twisted roots and trees so thick they literally block out the sun and swallow every sound. It's so disorienting that even our modern tech can fail you in there. Compasses just spin around, completely useless, leaving people totally and utterly lost. But why? Well, science has a pretty logical answer for it. The volcanic soil is super rich in magnetic iron, and that messes with compasses. And this right here perfectly shows you the tension in Japan. You've got the scientific explanation, it makes sense. But the local legend, it's just as powerful, maybe even more so, this belief that the forest itself has a soul, and it's one that really doesn't want you to leave.
All right, let's move on to our second clue. We're going from an ancient, spooky forest to a modern ruin. Out there, sitting in the middle of the ocean, is this concrete fortress. An entire city just left to rot, totally abandoned. This is Hashima Island, or as most people call it, Battleship Island.
I mean, it's hard to even wrap your head around that. Back in its heyday, this little island was practically bursting with life. Thousands and thousands of families packed into these concrete apartment buildings, creating this busy little world of their own. It was a symbol of Japan's industrial power.
And then, in just 15 short years, it went from the most crowded spot on the entire planet to a population of, well, zero. As Japan's economy shifted away from coal to oil, the mine that was the whole reason for Hashima's existence was suddenly useless. The evacuation was fast, it was total, and it was final.
But this is the part that will give you chills. The people didn't just leave. It's like they vanished. They left behind TVs, mail that was never opened, kids' toys, like they all just expected to come right back the next day. So why the sudden complete desertion? That quiet, collective obedience? That's our second clue.
You know, that very idea of discipline. It takes us away from physical places and deep into the soul of Japanese culture. For our third and final clue, we're going to see that the line between an ancient warrior and a modern engineer is way, way shorter than you could ever imagine. The key thing to get here is this. The samurai were so much more than just warriors. They had this strict code called Bushido, the way of the warrior, and it was all about discipline, loyalty, and this relentless chase for perfection in whatever you did. And even though the samurai are long gone, that code is still wired into the country's DNA. So this ancient mindset became the literal bedrock for Japan's rebuilding after the war. The exact same focus you'd need to master a sword was just reapplied to mastering the assembly line, or the microchip, or robotics. This discipline, this is the secret ingredient in that economic miracle.
But this obsession with perfection, it's a double-edged sword, for sure. It's given the world these incredible technological wonders, but it's also created this immense pressure. It's the reason you have the salaryman culture, where workers are expected to basically give their entire lives to their company, leading to insane overwork,
And it's partly why Japan has a reputation as one of the loneliest societies on Earth. It's a gift, and it's a silent burden.
So, after digging through these forbidden places and hidden codes, where are we? What have we found? It seems like the answer to Japan's big secret isn't some simple, easy thing. It's more like a complex and honestly, a beautiful puzzle.
So we looked at a forest where old legends are just as real as science. We saw an island that stands for a sudden, silent ending. And we uncovered a cultural code that's a source of both incredible strength and deep loneliness. Every single clue points to the same conclusion.
The secret behind Japan's miracle isn't some formula you can just copy. It's this completely unique mix of silence and unbreakable discipline that's been passed down for generations, and these hidden cultural depths that, as an outsider, you can probably never really understand. It's an unsolvable puzzle.
And maybe that's the real takeaway here. The true spirit of Japan isn't in the bright lights of Tokyo. It's in the shadows, it's in the silence, and it's in the stories that nobody tells. Because as we've just seen, sometimes the most beautiful things are also the most mysterious.